Hey everybody, Neilio here, and welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to be doing the third installment of Superman. We're going to do Superman 3. And Superman 3 is probably my favorite out of the Superman movies. Although a lot of people say that this movie is not any good, that it's not really a Superman movie because it has Richard Pryor in it. You know, all kinds of stuff. And I mean, I can't disagree because, I mean, yes, it does have Richard Pryor in it, and he is in it a lot. And it's focused kind of around him. Instead of really Superman all that much, but it's still a good movie. You know, it's not as good as like 1 and 2, but it's still a good movie. Now, I liked 1 and 2, like I said in my previous reviews, but the reason why I like this one so much is because when I was a kid, this is the one I watched the most. And when I first started watching the Superman Christopher Reeve movies, this was the first one I saw, and it kind of got me hooked on the Superman movies. And so I saw 3 first, and then I think, saw the others after. But still a good movie. So if you're new here, welcome to the channel, welcome to the video. If you like this video, please subscribe, please leave a comment, please leave a like, and if you have not seen this movie yet, please go check it out before you watch this review, because this might just have some spoilers in it that you may not want to be ruined for you. So right now, go check it out. I'm giving you this opportunity right now to click off the video and go check it out, because don't want you to be disappointed. But anyway, Superman 3. Superman 3 stars Christopher Reeve as usual as Superman. You got Margot Kidder in there briefly at the beginning and the end as Lois Lane. You have Annette O'Toole as Lana Lang. You have Richard Pryor in it as well as Gus Gorman, and the 2 bad guys, I don't know their names, their real names, but I cannot remember their names. But anyway, so Superman 3, from what I've read and did research on, this was supposed to be more of a... there was an interview with Richard Pryor at one time, and he said that he has always wanted to be in a Superman movie. And that's what 3 is. It's basically a Richard Pryor movie. And like I said, it's not a bad movie, but it's not a typical Superman movie. Let's put it that way. Because this movie takes place, I think, in 82 or 83, and this was like around the time that computers were first really getting into being very important in everyday life. And, and that's basically what it's about, kind of, anyway. And you have Gus Gorman, Richard Pryor's character, a computer genius. Now, you can question this, because if computers are just, in that day and age, when the movie came out, computers were very new. How can someone be a computer genius? I don't understand that. But Gus is a computer genius. He knows computers inside and out. And and he is not liking how he's getting paid, because there's being money taken away from him in his checks and stuff like that because of tax and stuff like that. And so he doesn't like it. So what he does is he goes on his computer and finds all these cents and 1/2 cents and whatever it is that is not being used, and basically he fixes it to where it is now he gets that money, and he's like, I wouldn't say rich because he's not rich, but he's very, very wealthy in a way, because once he finds that, he goes out, buys him a car, he's living it up, and a pretty nice car at that. But the thing is the place that he works for is run by the leader, the bad guy, the main bad guy. And I cannot remember his name even in the movie for some odd reason. Oh, Mr. Webster is his name. And he finds out that it's Gus, and so he has Gus, he basically uses him. Instead of sending him to prison or jail, he basically sends him and has him do his dirty work, so to speak, to keep him out of jail. And has him hack into all these computers and do all this stuff for him. And Gus just goes along with it. I don't think he realizes that what he's doing is bad. I don't think Gus realizes what the guy's having him do is bad. Like, Gus isn't a bad guy in this, but he's on the bad side. And I think he just doesn't understand where he's, the role he's in as far as the character. He's not a bad guy, but he's on the bad side doing bad things. And make a long story short, on this part of the story, Mr. Webster is having him stop all these oil tankers and all this and that, because Gus wants to control the oil and the coffee industry as well. And so he has Gus do all this computer stuff, and there's one scene that makes no sense at all. I wish it wasn't even in the movie because it's just so silly. Is he has Gus get on a computer and control the weather. Now there's no way that you can get on a computer and control the weather. It's impossible. But in this, it happens. He causes a tornado to happen in one of the is Colombia, because he wanted the coffee from Colombia, but Colombia wasn't being cooperative, and so he had Gus send a tornado there and basically destroy the place, and it's just silly. So that's basically their little story. And then Superman's story is Clark goes back to Smallville for a class reunion, and him and Jimmy Olsen go together, and on the way there's a fire, and Superman has to save all these people and all this and that. Then he gets to the reunion, and he meets Lana and a bunch of other people that he went to school with. And basically the rest of the Superman story kind of is the relationship between him and Lana. And it's not a bad one at all. It's just it's like they liked each other but back then, but they didn't really say anything, and now that they're back together again, they kind of hint around with it, and it never really actually happens. They never get together or anything, but I don't know. I think they should have. But so anyway, the bad guys are wanting to kill Superman, and they somehow find kryptonite, and they present it to him at Lana's son's birthday party, and supposedly it's supposed to kill him, but there was something wrong with this particular kryptonite, and it made him bad. So he starts doing all these bad things, and not saving people, arriving late to saving people, and all kinds of just mean stuff. And people just start disliking him, and and then finally at the end, or close to the end, him, the bad Superman, and Clark Kent, they kind of have a fight, and it's basically just, the way I see it, it's more like a battle within, as in, your good side fighting with your bad side, and the good side overcoming the bad side, and that's basically what it was. But it was a good fight. I enjoyed it. And so after Superman gets rid of the bad Superman, he goes after the other, the two bad guys. What is it? Mr. Webster and his sister, and all them. And Gus it felt like he wasn't being treated fairly, and what he wanted to continue doing stuff for Mr. Webster. He wanted Mr. Webster to help him build a computer that he could control, basically, that Gus could control and have it do whatever he wanted him to do, and stuff like that. And so that's where they're at, and so they go have their final battle with Superman, and he ends up getting rid of the bad guys and saving Gus, and it's really good. I enjoy it. I watch it here and there. I watch this movie here and there, but I don't watch it as much as I used to. Mainly because I watched it so much as a kid. I mean, I wore it out. I had it on. I recorded the movie off of TV onto a VHS tape, and I wore that VHS tape out. And so I was so glad when I got it on Blu-ray. And but yeah, my thoughts on the whole movie is it's a great movie. It's different compared to 1 and 2. It's it kind of has a different feel to it. There's a little more comedy in it, which I don't mind comedy. I enjoy comedies, but in this one, there's a little bit too much comedy in it, and it's mainly because of Richard Pryor and him being a comedy star. So I guess they had to end up making it a comedy because of him, because he's the comic relief of the movie, and plus you got Superman kind of being comical and stuff like that, and it's a Superman movie, but it doesn't feel like a Superman movie. But I mean, I don't really have any big negatives about it. I think if there were negative, I think I would say a little less comedy, but that's just me. Because I don't think Superman should be like super comedy. I mean, yeah, in Superman 2 you had Zod. He was being comical, but I don't think he was purposely being comical. I think he was just funny because, people just thought he was funny. I mean, he wasn't funny constantly. He was just, to me anyway, he was funny occasionally. But this movie is it's nonstop comedy, and it's still a good movie, but it's, like I said, it's not a typical Superman movie. And, you know, positives I did like. I liked the final battle at the end between him and the bad Superman. You know, and I mean, I don't know, in a way I kind of liked the fact that Superman was bad, because it kind of showed a different side, and it kind of gave the movie a little bit of a different kind of, I don't know what the word is, but, you know, it kind of made it good to see something different instead of seeing the same old thing. So I thought it was kind of cool, and plus he played bad really well. So, I mean, that part I liked. The Richard Pryor character, he was pretty good. He was funny. He was typical Richard Pryor, and I mean, all around, it was a really good movie. I don't really, if I were to recommend it to somebody, yes, I would say yes, go see it at least one time just to see what you thought of it. And if you didn't like it after that, then, you know, don't watch it again. But, you know, at least go see it one time if you haven't already. And, you know, so I guess that's it. I don't know what else to say. The music, again, is great. The music not as good as 1 and 2, but you still had that somewhat of a Superman theme in 3. Like, it would kind of play, but it wouldn't like play the full theme. It would kind of play hints of the theme. And, you know, I mean, and the beginning of this movie is just so weird. Like, you have the city of Metropolis, and everybody's just going about their day, and just, it's on the soundtrack of this movie. I actually have this soundtrack. The track on this is called Chaos in Metropolis, and it's basically everybody it's just crazy. You got somebody shooting a gun at people. You have, you know, crime stuff going on. I mean, it's just, people are just, it's just crazy. I don't know how to describe it. But, I mean, it's entertaining, but it's crazy. But I'm used to the beginning of the way it should be, like in 1 and 2, where it would have the Superman theme along with the credit things. I mean, you know, that's what I'm used to. But it was still good. It was still good. But, and then you had the classic theme at the very end of the movie during the credits. So I guess they made up for it there. But, yeah, I guess that'll do it for Superman 3. I hope I'm not leaving anything out. If I am, I apologize. I mean, just make sure I haven't completely forgot anything. I don't think I have, actually. I think that'll do it for this video, for this review. So, hope you enjoyed. Like I said, if I didn't give enough information, I apologize. I guess, I'm just going over, making sure I didn't forget anything. I apologize if I did. Alright, so that was Superman 3, and please go check it out if you haven't already. If you're new, please subscribe and check out my other videos. Please leave likes on this video and others, and please leave comments letting me know what your thoughts are on Superman in general, Superman 3, or any of the other movies, and that'll do it. Hope you enjoyed, and as always, I will talk to y'all and see y'all in the next video.